Stampin YouTube channel. So here you're going to find lots of fabby tips and tricks and stamping inspiration to breathe, I don't know, a little bit of inspiration into your card making if you need it, or just a lovely creative community of people who love to stamp, basically. So today I'm not sure I'm going to get much stamping done, but I'm here to share an idea to help you cut up your stamped one sheet wonders. So while I'm getting set up, I don't know if anybody wants to go and grab some pieces of vellum or tracing paper. I know some of you are into your paper and card, or you may be homeschool or whatever, and I know that you may have some tracing paper. So if you've got any, go and grab it, and I'm going to show you an idea that I've got for making it easier to cut these up. I've had so many questions about this, so many people asking, how do you cut these up? How do you know where to cut them up? You know, what configuration, all that sort of thing. And I have done a couple of videos, but I think I have come up with a solution to make it a bit easier for some of you. So yes, go and grab your vellum. Now I didn't think vellum would be see-through enough, but I've tested it. You can see through it, and it's cheaper than buying the clear plastic, if you don't have any of the clear plastic as well. Now the clear plastic I think will be useful if you want to cut up 12 by 12s, but this is to cut up your bog standard letter size card. So it doesn't matter whether you're in the UK or America or Canada or wherever, you just need to get the vellum that matches the size of your cardstock, and that's what we're kind of aiming for. Okay, so let's get the screen up so I can see all your lovely comments, those of you who are watching on the live, and we're going to get started. So with there's obviously different types of one sheet wonders that you can stamp. I mean, I've got a whole playlist of different types. So I'm going to be showing you how to cut your sheets up depending on what type of or shaped card you want to create. All right, so first of all, we've got the all over design. Okay, the all over design. Now typically this can get cut up into 4s, 6s, 3s, blah blah blah. So a very simple way just to divide this up into 4 and to check that it works is literally, we're going to fold our piece of vellum in half, and just make sure that you take your time to make sure it's all edge to edge, and then open it up and then fold it over again, edge to edge, corner to corner. Bring your finger down. This is like if you ever made origami, this is when to bring in your origami skills. So you basically get your corner to corner, corner to corner, edge to edge. You bring your finger down like this, and then you go out. Sorry, it should be on a flat surface really. Flat, and then out to the edge like that. And that's how you get a perfect division in your vellum. Right, now, obviously that's not super duper clear. So I'm thinking we get a marker pen. So whether you get a Sharpie or an alcohol pen, whatever you want to get. I think this one's fairly new, so I can get away with this. I'm just going to bring on a piece of grid paper so I don't get ink onto my background. Just set that aside a second. I'm going to actually do a great big thick line and turn my ruler over because I don't want it to get ink on it. And do a fairly thick line down the edge. Ooh, no, that's a bit too thick, but I didn't realise my vellum was going to come up towards me. Actually, maybe I should use the other side. Might be better. Okay, so I'm just going to do a nice great big thick line across there as well. So maybe do one and then move it and then do another one. Yeah, that's probably a better idea. So do one line, move it up, and then do another line. Now, if you want to, you can also do a little bit of a line at the edges, but Personally, I don't think that's absolutely needed. So let's bring on our one sheet wonder, have a look at it and go, does it divide up nicely? Yes, it does. So you can just lay your template over the top of your one sheet wonder and go, does it work? Okay, does it work? And you go, yes, it does. Now, the other idea I had was either to mark on here some divisions in terms of how perhaps your paper could be used. So, for example, you may want to divide this section into 3. So, let's do, so we've got, so for us in the UK it's 10.5 centimetres, so divide that into 3 and you have basically 3.5 plus 3.5 plus 3.5 is 10.5. So if you want to get a rough idea of how that's going to work divided into 3, I'm just going to mark there, 3.5, 7. Now, if you are working in inches, you figure out whatever the measurement is across there, divide it by 3, and just kind of go, oh dear, should have done it the other way around. And my pen is very inky, so probably a Sharpie would have been better. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so that's one option. Then the other option is to divide this into 3. And this is just like rough measurements. It's just so that you can put this template over your work and go, does it work? So I'm going to go 5 centimetres in from there, and then I'm going to move that up to 15 and get the 5 centimetres in from there. And then, sorry, I haven't been reading comments. You're probably all shouting at me, telling me there's some better way of doing it. But yes, acetate would be brilliant. So do you remember the good old days of having overhead projectors and things? If you've got a whole load of acetate, then this would be fantastic. Okay, so the other option is to do a diagonal. Okay, some people like doing that kind of division in their one sheet wonders. So let's do that on one of them. And let's have a think. What's the other option? Maybe just like a third. No, because you can get that there. I know what. A diagonal in the other direction. Because you may want to check it out from the other way. Oh no, you can turn this over. Okay, no, we won't do that. I know what. I'm going to draw a circle there. Just to see. Let's see if that's going to work. No, that's not going to work. I might go and grab myself one of the stitch circle dies. And hello. You're just talking about me. Oh, fine. There we go. So I'm thinking okay, again, I am using a very inky pen, so I'm sorry about that, but this is just to give you an idea. You can execute this in a much more precise way than I'm doing it. I'm just doing it very off the cuff, and I'm going to show you that it does work. So let's bring it on our sheet, lay that back over. So here we can get a better idea how this is going to look when it's cut up. I'm going to grab another design just to show you how it can work, so that you can get a good idea. So we'll go for this one instead. And there we go. Okay, so you can kind of get a really good idea of how it's going to work. So you may decide, okay, that design doesn't work in that section there. but I want to see if it works in that section. So what you've got to do is flip it over and have a look. And then you might go, oh, not sure about it there like that. Let's have a look at this side. Flip it over. Oh yeah, might prefer that. Okay, so does that make sense? You could very easily make one of these just to kind of like have a look. And obviously if you wanted to see what that was like over here, just move that over, or you can do that, move it around and so on. Okay, that's just the first idea. So this is just for doing cutting into quarters. Right, now the next very popular way of dividing your one sheet wonders is to do thirds. Actually, I forgot to say, I wanted to show you if it would work on a different, slightly different configuration. Let me just double check it. Okay, so here we have a design that's diagonal like that. So let's see if this works. Okay, so for example, you might think, okay, that doesn't work so well. You know, you may decide that, but that does. And then what you could do is then you just got to imagine, okay, that's in a different piece of paper and those two are great. Or we could do it where these two are on a different piece of paper and we have that one. Now here is where I'd say, okay, that configuration doesn't work so well for this because we've got all the flowers on one side and we're missing out on the other. So let's see if it works better on a different part of the page. And you might prefer that because you can see, oh look, there's more flowers there and then there's a bit of a flower there. All right, so hope that makes sense. Please do ask any questions if you're not sure. Hi Wendy, Martina, Liz, Mindy, Vicky, Christine, Linda, Liz, Bree, Susan, Sheila, Serene, Bonnie, Georgiana, Pamela, Freedom, Minda, Karen, hi Leonie, great to see you. Cool, lovely. Right, so that's that one. Let's move on to, oh, sorry, no, I wanted to check if it would work on this one. Yep. Okay, so you may not want to do all the extra cutting. I mean, that one works well, but I personally wouldn't use this configuration. But because we've got these big lines here, we know that cutting it into the fours does work. All right. So let's go on to. So another popular way of dividing it up is into thirds. All right, so let's do the measurements for that. So in the UK, it works out, I'm just going to flip this over to centimetres. Our cardstock is just under 30 centimetres long. So I would be looking at just under 10 centimetres to have a first fold. So I'm going to just fold it. I'm not doing any fancy kind of like measuring or anything like that. I'm kind of like eyeballing it and just going to hope for the best, really. So it's just under, I'm just folding it at just under 10 centimetres. Okay, and then I'm going to fold that and hope, as I said, hope for the best. Because we're not looking at precision here. This is just to kind of give you peace of mind that when you go to cut up your stamped beauties, your lovely creations, that you're kind of aiming in the right direction. All right. Hi Lorraine, finally got the right link in order to chat during the live. Oh, you do chat during the live, Lorraine. You always chat in the live. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, now some people follow the link from Facebook and then tap on that. Don't do that. You need to go to YouTube. The whole idea of the notifications on Facebook is just to let you know that I am live, but it's probably best just to go to YouTube after you can see that I am live. Okay, so I'm just drawing with my black Stampin blend because it's an alcohol pen. I know that when it dries it will be permanent. The only thing about it is it's very juicy, this one, and it's a bit runny. But never mind. we'll get there. Okay, so now at this point, you may decide, right, I want to cut off a section, you know, a third of a third. Right, so for us in the UK, that's 7 centimetres. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's at that section there. So that's one way that you could divide up your third. You may decide, actually, I want to divide it into, you know, 3 long ways. So I'm just going to, again, roughly divide that. So it's 9 and a bit, so that's 3 and a bit centimetres. I'm just going to go there and there. Oops. Oh dear. I'm a bit messy with this pen. I know what, let's try and use a thin end. Oh, that's a bit odd, Lorraine. Anyway, we're glad you're here. Okay, and then we're just going to get that to meet up. Okay, so who's on here that were one of the people that asked me to do this? So I can blame you for the mess I'm making of it. I'm joking. No, it's a really good idea. And somebody on Artful Stampin Space said that this is what they do with acetate sheets. So I'm completely nicking this idea off them, I'm afraid. Because it's such a good idea. There we go. So that's one option. Now you could do a massive diagonal. Shall we do it? I don't think I've ever made a card with this bigger diagonal, but that's maybe something I should try. Okay, so let's see if this works, guys. So I'm going to have a quick flick through some of my previous stampings that I know was designed for cutting into 3. So that's definitely one. And maybe that one. No, that's a 4. Maybe a 3. That one's a random, so we'll see if that works. Not random, sorry, it's diagonal. Right, okay. Ooh, sorry. Let's see. Let's test it out. I don't want to be making you go off and doing things that are not going to work. Actually, I think that's meant to be that way around. Okay, let's have a look. Does this work? So at the moment, I'm just looking at it as a divisions of 3. I'm kind of ignoring the in-betweeny bits, and I'm thinking, would this work as a slimline card? Yes, that would. Yes, that would. Yes, that would. Okay. For me, that's fine. I love it. Then in terms of a diagonal card, for me, this doesn't work so well because we've got a lot of the stamping here and hardly stamping there. This might work as a strip. So because sometimes it's nice to create slimline cards and you just put a strip of detail. So any of these strips would work fine. And then this one, yep, that could work. And you've got enough detail in that one for that to work as well. So you can always try it the other way around, you know, see if that works any better. And funny enough, that works, to me, that works better than the other one because it's got a little bit more of the design coming down. And you can always flip it the other way like that. So that one has got more detail, you know, more on both sides. So I think that's works. So let's move on to seeing if it would work with that one. Now this design here, I think I very much did design it for just a full-on third. Okay, and you can see how that does work. Okay, that wouldn't work cut off down like that. That might work like that. That one, maybe. Let's see if it works better like this. Oh yeah, that one works better. Okay, so who knew? Right, now what was the other idea that I had? Sixes. Okay, so this is where we go. We're gonna do this again, but we're actually going to then put a line through it. So I'm just going to copy the lines that I did previously, rather than getting all foldy and technical. I'm just going to copy what I did earlier. Wow, well done, Cindy. Good going. So I'm concentrating. Okay. So that's our division of thirds. And then we want to divide this into 2. So I'm just going to make a mark halfway, 10.5. And I hope you guys in America can see, those of you who use Imperial and your size card is slightly different, I'm deliberately not kind of going, oh, you've got to do this specific measurement, because it's basically divide into 3 or divide into 4 or divide into 2, and you can figure out where you would put your lines. Okay, so that's divided into 6. Now, this would be helpful if you want to perhaps cut these into squares, because sometimes it is nice to make squared cards. So let's just grab something here, see what that looks like. So this is not quite a square, but it gives you a really good idea of what it would look like as a squared off piece of stamping. Okay, so yeah, that works really well. Now again, if you wanted to go in there again and do some more divisions, you could do that. So we could do a diagonal. Oh, what happened to the vacuum? Oh dear, Jan, you've been cleaning too much. Hi, Dolly. Now, the other thing you may want to do is actually cut this into 4s, because you may feel that you want to go even smaller. So let's just divide this up even more and see how that would look. So I'm just going to go to 5 centimeters there, 5 by 5, and I'm actually going to just do an extra line there, do that there. So I'm squaring this off, because that measurement there is not 10 centimeters, it's a bit more. So I hope this is making sense to you guys. Please do ask questions if you feel you need me to clarify anything. I'm just going to get rid of that bit there. Okay. Yeah, so this is vellum. So I'm just going to bring this back in. So there we go. So this gives you an idea then of what that would look like divided up. And of course you can always move it over to different sections. Okay. Because you might go, oh, I might do it to that one. Might do it to that one, so on, so forth. And then you can think of other ways. You know, you might draw a big circle on that one. So, yeah. Right, now there's another way to divide that I have not covered. And this kind of really speaks to me being so frugal, because usually the way I design, I cover a whole sheet and then cut it up and use the cut up pieces, rather than kind of going, oh, I want to make I cover a whole sheet and then cut it up and use the cut up pieces, rather than kind of going, oh, I want to make a card. Right, I'm going to measure the card and then I'm going to cut the bits and pieces, and I'm not really going to care how many I can get out of one sheet. Because I've been leading workshops for so long, I've learned how to get like the most out of a piece of cardstock. So in the UK, I know that our width of cardstock can be very easily divided into 3. Now, of course, you can do that in the States as well, but that's just the way my kind of brain works, because in terms of the numbers. So because we have 21 centimetres across, either, 7 times 3 is 21, so I can get 3 columns very, very easily out of this piece of cardstock, or vellum, or whatever you call it. So we'll do 3 columns this way, and this will help me look at cutting my one sheet wonders even smaller now. Okay, and then I'm thinking dividing this into 3 again. So this will show me how I can get 9 pieces out of one piece of card. You know what, I'm just going to copy what I did before, because it's easier. Hi, Mr. Bobby. So if you're just joining me now on the live and you don't know what the heck I'm up to, please go and have a look at the beginning, because this is like the 3rd stage. All right, so this is if you've got a fairly all over design. Let's see if I can grab another one to see if it works. Let's go with that one. Oh, some of these are going back a while. Okay, so this is what it would look like divided into 9s. There we go. That works fairly well. So this sort of size is what I would perhaps mat and then stick onto a larger card. So if I just show you in comparison, so that's that's my card base size there. That's, a quarter of a whole sheet. So that size there is kind of a perfect matting size to then cut and then pop it onto there. You get a really nice margins all the way around. And because the ratios are the same, I hope that kind of makes sense. So the ratio, the number, this number here to this number here, how they are related is exactly the same as when you halve this to if you divide it into 3. Okay, so this is always going to look great on here. All right. Do I ever add to a stamping section? I do, Jan, yes. So I imagine if you look at this section here, this looks pretty bare, doesn't it? And you might think, oh, right, well, that's just crying out for like a great big sentiment in the middle. Of course, just go back in there and restamp it. Just because you've done this piece of artwork, it doesn't mean this is your completed thing. This is just your this is a step to creating the card. So, yes, absolutely, add to it. But isn't this a great tool? I'm loving this because, to be honest, I have looked at this piece of cardstock and thought, how on earth I'm going to cut this up? I don't know what to do with it. But now I can see very easily, okay, so that's what that looks like divided into 9. I can cope with that because, yeah, I love it. Okay, so let's just test this out then. If we were to divide this into 6s this time, does that work? Yes, it does. Yep. I'd perhaps not cut it down like that, but in terms of you just focusing on the 6 panels, yes, that works. Let's see if it works with the 4s. Excuse my messiness. Okay, certainly works with the 4. All right. What was the other one? Oh, I was going to test this one out. The boots one. This was done a long time ago. Now you see, to me, this design is very full. There's lots of detail in there. So I wouldn't personally recommend using great big sheets of this. Like, I wouldn't perhaps divide this into 4. I think it would be too much. But having smaller sections is very usable. All right. Right, can anybody else think of any other configurations? Because I think I've exhausted them now. So here we've got quarters. Now, if you find that these are a distraction, don't do them. It's absolutely fine. The other idea I had was actually to cut another piece of vellum in. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it. Cut another piece of vellum into quarters and do the marcations, and then you've got it, and you can move it. So that was kind of my idea. So I'm going to redo my first one, because obviously my first one, it's a bit like, you know, when you fry a pancake, the first one's always the worst one, and you've got to kind of go back and, well, give it to the dog or whatever. So let's do my first one again. Where's my template one? Oh, that one is a template. So hands up, who's struggled to be able to know where to how to cut up their stamped sheets? Now, this obviously can work with designer series paper, but you know, you could cut these down to 6 by 6 pieces or slightly smaller, and you can do exactly the same for 6 by 6s. So let's just do a nice great big thick line there. Now I know what happened to my pack of vellum. Are you sure Ellen's not got it, Cindy? You know, she is the queen of vellum. Yeah, Bonnie says, hard for me to decide where to cut. Okay, so you could keep that one clean, all right? Oh, I know what, all I need to do is cut this one up. And have this as your template. Look. Where's my trimmer? Oh, there it is. Yeah, Cindy has a problem cutting them up. And actually being able to see how to make smaller pieces, they go further. It's not a case of just making 4 cards, but you could actually get 8 cards easily from this configuration if you do this. And then obviously with the dividing it into 9s, you know you're going to get 9 cards. So Ellen said she didn't have it. Love it. So, you know what, let's grab another one. I'm just going to show off all these one-sheet wonders I've done for ages and ages ago. Right, so there's another one. So let's see if this works, guys. So we go. Does that work? Yes, of course, because it's an overall design, so of course it's going to work. So then if you want to be then more specific, you can then go, I think I might cut that one that way, and then, oh, does that one work over there as well? Yes, it does. Oh, let's see if that works there. No, not really, because I'm left with this like big green patch there, so I'm not going to do that to that one. Oh, but it works here because we've got a bit of a flower in each one of those. Let's see if this works. It's okay, but then we can flip it over and see if it works better that way. Let's have a look over here. Not sure about that. Let's flick it and see if that works better. Oh yeah, I like that. So there we go. You can kind of like mess around and figure out what you're going to do. Now the other thought I did have was if you've got die cuts and you might want to sort of figure out whether or not you could cut an aperture. Well, you could just get your dies. Let's bring back our plain one. Pop that back over there, and then just plop your die down and go, right, okay, is that going to work? There's one die set, isn't there? That label one. It's got loads of bits in it. What's this one? Stitch So Sweetly. So let's have a look at this. Just lay that over the top and go, oh yeah, that could work. Maybe not. Maybe. There we go. All right. So there we go. Yes, possibly, Pamela. Yeah. I was thinking of just using the big acetate that we've got to be, not acetate, sorry, I have got one actually. I could do it now. Oh, not put that away with that. That wasn't going there. Now the other option is that you could actually cut out every single one of these in vellum. You know, maybe every time you get a framelit style die, it's just cut some vellum out and keep it in your packages, and then you can lay those on and just sort of have a look and see what you think about it. All right, so shall we move on to the 12 by 12? Please type any questions. Keep typing your questions while I get the clear plastic sheet. Just got to find where it is. Now, if you feel that spending out on the clear plastic sheet is a bit much, then the other option is that you use the Stampin' Up packaging. If your papers come in, you know, one of those more cellophane looking envelopes. And then the other option I would suggest is you buy some, oops, knocking over my broom, is you get some 12 by 12 pieces, 12 by 12 grip seal bags. I use those an awful lot just for storage, but you could easily draw on those. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong box. This is my retired box. Oh dear. Choose the right box, woman. Right, current product. That's the one I want. Oh, my broom's got a life of its own tonight. Right, I think I found it. Here it is. Is that it? Yes, there we go. Right, so for those of you who are just joining, we're talking about how to divide up your stamped sheets. So I do know I've got one here. Oh, I've got, yeah, one 12 by 12. I stamped this a few weeks ago, I think when I first moved in. So let's talk this through a little bit then. So the options are just cutting them into 6. The other option is to cut into 9s. So I think perhaps it would be better to get two of these, because you can't do 9s and 6s, 4s in the same sheet really. It would look kind of odd. Hold on, I'm just having a think about this. So the other option is I think you've only really got you've got to do it on 2 different ones. So yeah, that's a good idea, Janine. Yeah. I'm a bit reluctant to actually just draw straight onto that, because I think I'd rather use this cellophane for something else. So what I'm going to do... Oh, I've just thought... I've got these these are dividers for my storage. I'm going to use those, because I don't care if I get a mark on that. Okay, no, I'm just going to do that. And I've got a few of those. So, yay, okay. That works for me. Now, please don't ask me what company these came from. They're really old. And basically, they're 12 by 12 storage that you can purchase. And these are like the dividers that go in between. Okay, they're just like a sort of semi-transparent plastic. So, right, now, because I'm going to be working more in inches now, I'm just going to flip that piece of paper over, because I know that this is in inches. So let's have a look at what this measures. I've got a feeling this is just over 12 by 12. Oh, maybe not. No, it's not. It's perfect. Ooh. There we go. Right, so let's measure this up then. We're going to do 4 and 8. And sorry, I'm concentrating now. 4 and 8. And then just trying to, I'm using the grid paper to line things up at the same time. So it's kind of like measuring, that whole thing of measuring twice, so that I know I've got everything in the right place. Now I know this divider is a bit longer than 12 inches. So what I'm going to do is actually stop at the 12-inch mark and do a little dash. And then also, while I'm here, I'm going to put in the 4 and the 8 measurement, so that it makes it easier for me to line it up in a second. And yes, I know I've gone and moved it off my grid paper, but that's okay. I'm a bit more confident in my measuring now, so it's all good. So 4 and 8. So get these to meet up now. Ah, okay. So everyone kind of is aware that you can get these types of storage from online stores, from craft stores when they open. So that's a good idea. Obviously you can use the clear plastic that Stampin' Up do, but I'm thinking this, it's not like you have to store another thing, because you're going to have it in your storage already. Hey! Da da da! Yay! Hi, Reet! It's okay, we're just talking about templates, Reet. So we're now just started looking at 12 by 12 templates. to figure out how to cut up your 12 by 12 stamped items. Okay, so that's your 9 done. So obviously the next one to look at is your 6s. Sorry, 6 by 6. So just pop that. You know what, I'm just going to go with the numbers on here. So just going to draw a line down to 12 inches. Lift my ruler off carefully so it doesn't smudge. So let's do that. Going to do my other 6 measurement there so that we can, oh, I forgot to do my line there. I forgot to do my little measurement. Okay, so just line that up there to there. So who likes doing square cards? Because this is really good for you guys who like doing your square, and sort of it just gives you a bit of a larger canvas and just a different sort of canvas shape really than what we're normally used to. So it's quite nice to be able to do that kind of size. Right, let's bring on my wreath. And there you have it. So that's what that would look like cut up. How cool is that? Love it. Okay, so then of course you can divide this up if you want to a little bit further. So if you wanted to see what it looked like having a diagonal, we can do, you know, I would just say just do 1. Okay, because you can pivot that round. Okay, so you just, you know, all you've got to do is turn that round to see how it would look, and if you want to see it the other way around, you flip it over. Oh no, does that make sense? Yes. Then let's have a think. You may want to divide this into columns. So just going to draw a line there and a line there. Okay. And then you may decide, actually, I want to cut this even smaller. I want to make some twinchies. Do you know what twinchy. So in the sort of artist trading card world, it became quite fashionable to make twinchies, which is basically a 2 by 2 piece of creativity. And you would swap these. So it used to be all the rage that you would make what's called artist trading cards, which were kind of like half a card size. Have I done this right? This doesn't feel right. Hold on a second. Oh, I've done it wrong. I thought I'd done it wrong. That's 1/4 of an inch out. Sorry about that, everybody. Now, I wonder if I can get rid of that with hand sanitizer. Let's see if that will work. Get a cloth. No, that is not wanting to budge. Am I doing that on the right side? Oh my word. Anyone got any idea how to get it off? Yeah, no, this has got, well, what does it say? Has got alcohol in it. No, that's not wanting to budge. Do I need to go stronger? Dry erase marker. Oh, a dry erase marker. I have got plenty of those. Bear with. I've got a yellow one as well, so hopefully that'll... Oh my goodness, you are so right. That totally works. Thank you. Who said that? Stephanie. Oh my goodness. You miracle worker. You know what? I did not know that that would work. Look at that. My dry erase marker will never be the same, but I don't really care. I've got 2 of these. I'll just clean it off. That is so cool. Well, I tell you what, I've learnt something new today. Teaching with the little ones. Wow. There we go. Thank you, Stephanie. I've been educated today. That is so cool. Okay, so I'm gonna have to erase that one as well because I got that wrong. So let's do my, this is the proper markation. There we go. Oh, take care, Janine. Yeah, we don't recommend. Oh, that's my alcohol. That didn't work anyway. That is just too cool for school. Okay, so that means that this one's wrong as well. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys, but I am so happy to find this solution. I did not know. Wow. Right, there we go. That's how to fix a mistake, guys. Get your buddies live on air to tell you. That is so cool. Love that. Right, so that's now correct. So let's sort out these lines over here. Oh, my drink's in the way of my thing. Yeah, sorry, a dry erase marker. Normally you would use on a porous surface, like a whiteboard, so I can do it on the ruler. And you let it dry, and then you just, it just wipes off. Okay. So I presume it must have some sort of activating ingredient. I don't know. That is so cool. I totally thought the alcohol would do it. I'm not quite sure why it didn't work, but because I would have thought alcohol would have done it. Okay, there we go. So that's your squared. Oh no, that just still doesn't look right. Oh, but apparently it is. Oh, it's just got a little bit edge on there. All right. Exactly, Pamela. Yes, those yellow ones never show up. Right, then I'm wondering whether to actually draw a square within the square. I'm often sort of doing that kind of configuration. So let's do, I don't know, an inch in from there. And I'm going to have to move that up so I can get this to work. So do an inch there. Do that there. Do that there. And then maybe, I don't know, another inch in as well. So that would go to there, I think. Yes. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 there. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is really helpful for just seeing if this configuration of cutting your papers will work before you cut it, basically. Because imagine going to all this length and cutting up your paper and then going, oh no, that didn't look right. But this way, you can just lay this over the top and voila. It's like no cutting of paper involved until you're ready. Yes, I'm wondering rubbing alcohol, Martina, because it's a bit stronger, isn't it, that stuff? Okay, there we have it. Okay. Now the other thing I wanted to also talk about was, say you wanted to do slimline cards with this template, I wanted to just cover that with you as well. So I've brought back the 9 square. This is also helpful to look at if you want to do slimline. So you've got to kind of ignore that line there and just look at these sections here and here. I have cut up one sheet, a 12 by 12 like this with that configuration, and it works. I think it works really well. All side, okay, I'm going to cut, you know, these two, those two, those two, and those two. Just takes careful cutting because you've got to sort of cut to there and stop, and then you've got to cut to there and stop. But if this helps just to, you know, help you make your mind up before you start cutting, then I think this is great. Now, again, if you wanted to do further demarcation, you can do, but or get a separate piece of vellum and then again do your drawing on that and lay those over, similar to, you know, what I did here. Okay, now the other configuration that I haven't talked about is doing cutting across there and then into 6s. So I'm going to grab another piece of my plastic divider. Do this one here. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to use this one to do the marks going one way, and then I'll show you how you can get 6 cards out of a 12 by 12. Right, come on, stay together. So let's cut, not cut, sorry, draw down like that. Yeah, I was having a look at sometimes the Stampin' Up packaging is quite robust. Sometimes it's the stuff that seems to just be like cling film and then you just kind of rip it off and there's nothing you really can do about it. But sometimes it comes with that slightly more robust cellophane, and I would think you could probably use that to draw on. So I'm going to bring in my half one here, swap that over. Do my lines across there. Okay. Bring back my wreath. And there we go. So you can see what it would look like if it was cut into 6s this time. So now a 12 by 12 cut into 6 is very similar to a UK A4 cut into quarters. So you could probably use a similar templates to kind of like have a look and see for your extra, you know, for your extra cutting. So you could probably just use those in the same way. All right. So, oh, that's pretty. Right. I think I'm just going to take questions because we covered an awful lot. I don't mind also just going back over everything if you feel that would be useful, or yeah, I'm quite happy to be directed by you guys as to what, you know, you want me to do, really, because we've been thinking about this for a while, not got round to doing it. And actually, that's, I've just seen, by placing that one on top of that one, you get additional, so you can see what that looks like. That's fun, isn't it? I've dropped a piece somewhere. There were things flying around on my desk a minute ago, or flying off my desk rather. Did I drop it? Yeah, things do fall behind my desk very easily in this house. So okay, any further questions? I mean, what I could do is just go through some Stamp One Sheet Wonders with you and show you the different, how they would look with the different ones. So we've got this one, which is, I'm trying to remember from way back what the motivation with this one was. I think I just did kind of like clumps. So that would work, cut into 4. That would work, cut into 3s. Yeah, that would work, cut into, with an overall design, I'd say you've got kind of a lot of scope, So that would work. So an overall design, you could use all 4 of those templates and you'll be fine. Let's go to something a little bit more specific. So a diagonal piece. Is there a program on the computer that can do this? What do you mean, Stephanie? Do you mean print it out for you? Or do you mean draw it out? What do you mean? I mean, this is sometimes I've experienced over the last 20 years of working with computers and doing physical paper crafts. Sometimes we can think the computer can help us simplify something and do something better. But I've discovered that sometimes just a piece of paper and a ruler is just so simple. And it can take you half an hour to figure out how to do it on the computer, whereas literally getting a pen and paper will do it. So so I'm not answering your question in any way. I'm just making a comment about what I've learned over the last few years. So I'll be interested to know what you mean, Stephanie. All right, so that can cut up into that works because you've got a bit of the design in every sort of area there. Draw and print what you've made with vellum. Yes, you could. Yes. The only thing is that I think printer ink is more likely to smudge than a good old Sharpie, or I mean, I know I've dragged the ink a little bit there, but that's because I'm in a hurry. But if you were being careful, I would say literally a black Sharpie and a ruler. That's it. And you don't even have to do, I don't know if you were here for the beginning of the video, but I literally folded it into thirds. Okay, it's literally simple maths. It's fold into half. you know, one way, the other way. That is it. Okay, now what I haven't accounted for, so I will say this as a disclaimer, what I haven't accounted for is the fact that you may want to then trim this down a little tiny bit, because your card bases are going to be that size. So if you like to have a bit of a edge, then you will be cutting these slightly smaller. This is not to tell you where exactly to cut. This is not the purpose of these templates. The purpose of these templates is for you to get a rough idea of what your card will look like if you cut it up into this configuration. So please don't take this as a kind of definitive guide. Draw and print on paper. Do you mean just print it directly onto here? Yes, you could do that too. Now, again, the only issue I would have with some printers, don't print edge to edge. And also, some printers will automatically, depending on your program, go, oh, fit inside the page. So although you want it to print on an A4, it might go, oh, but because I can't print to the edge, I'm going to shrink it slightly. Okay, so then you run into those complications, because then the design is actually slightly smaller than what you wanted. Okay, ask me how I know. I've been there and done it. In the past, I've helped friends design like wedding invitations. You know, like if you're doing a wedding invitation, it's like a trifold like that. Actually, my wedding invitation was like that, and it takes a lot of kind of figuring out to tell the computer where exactly you want the columns, and not to shrink it down, and because a computer wants to put in printer margins, so it is complicated. And so honestly, a piece of vellum with a ruler and a pen is just your friend. Thank you, Ruth, though I have a headache from the math. There is no maths. There's no maths. You just are folding it in half or thirds. I think it's in law now. What's in law, Cindy? Yeah, stick to a ruler, Cindy. Stephanie. Okay, so let's just check this then for thirds. So yes, this design would work as a third. Yep, third, and then also it would work if you wanted to do additional design cutting, so you can move that on just to see if that would work. Now, if you wanted to do this in a much thinner line, you know, that's fine. You heard me call out numbers. Oh, all right then. Sorry, Cindy. I'll try and refrain from numbers next time. Okay, so here's it cut into sixes. Oh yeah, I said a number then, didn't I? Sixths. That's not a number. Oh, the templates are now the law, according to Hi, Phoebe. Yeah, so that one works. It might not work for that little poor square there. It barely has anything on it, but that's what you can test out, can't you? Think, now, you know, do I want to do this? Yeah. All right, which one? What have I not done on this one now? Oh, the nines. Ninths. Yeah, that works too. Apart from maybe that one, it's got a little less. But you may then go, okay, so that's a little less, but I'm going to, you know, do a thing there. Christine says, computer's not alwa's the answer, is it? When we write to, I always stamp some pics on the letter in the envelope. Of course, she said, Chris does that with the computer. So offended lol, but this time she got a photo of all my stuff I was using on my desk and an explanation. Good for you, Christine. Yes, and it's all, the other thing is that some people think, well, if you do it on the computer, it's cheating. It's not. And actually, oh my gosh, you can spend hours and hours designing stuff on the computer. Tom, have you burnt the toast?
No.
I can smell burning.
Yeah, it's not quite burnt.
Not quite burnt. Okay. This is therapy. Computers are the cause of my need of therapy. Yep, absolutely. Okay, do you want me to show you one more? I mean, design that is not, I'm not going to do another template. I'm just going to have a look through and just see if there's another design that we can test it out on to make sure it works. Ah, now this one's an interesting one. Let's have a look at this. So I do tend to do this design quite often. It's the design where I basically do something across the page. So when I first start stamping, I'm thinking of going across the page, and then invariably it spreads out a bit. All right. So initially, I would say that this is a third. This would work very well cut into 3 pieces. Oh, I tell you what I haven't done. I haven't done it into 4s. Going that way. Right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw another line on here. Where am I? Up there. Get my ruler. So if you like really, really, really slim line cards, you do this extra line. So basically it's dividing the length into 4. Okay. Okay, so some people like really super duper slim ones, and what you can do is not actually necessarily make the card slim, but you can then get 4 sections out of this beautiful sheet. So that will just then give you an idea of what that would look like divided into 4. It also gives you an idea of what this would look like divided into 8s. So I'm looking at this and thinking, actually, I quite happily use that section, that section, that section, that section. Turn it over. Yeah, there's 2 butterflies there, 1 butterfly there, 2 there, 1 there. It works. Okay, so this piece, I now know I can cut this across the middle and into 4s, and I would end up making 8 beautiful cards from this sheet. Okay, let's see the one. Let's try the 9. I'm not convinced, but it might work. Let's have a look. Not too bad, not too shabby, as they say. So we've got little butterflies there, butterfly there, no butterflies, but that's okay. We've got this lovely floral little cluster here. We've got 3 butterflies, floral cluster there, big there, lots of lovely white space there. So if I was to add anything extra to this one, I'd perhaps do a little bit of stenciling here, and that's it. That's gorgeous, actually. I love that. But you may decide, okay, I want a couple of you know, I want a couple of big long ones, and actually then I'm going to divide this into 3. So, you know, put a line through there. So okay. Right, I think we're done. I think I've done an hour of explaining, so I don't want your poor heads to explode with information. And I'm really pleased that some of you have asked me to do this, because I think what we've come up with is a super simple tool to help you divide up your stamped one sheet wonders and get you using them, not just looking at them. So thank you, Titian. So if you like this video, please do share this out. Please do pin it to your Pinterest boards. And what I mean by that is you literally press the share button. So if I quickly just show you how to do that. You go to here, you see that little share icon. You tap on share. You see the Pinterest icon. Tap on Pinterest and it will open it up. And then you'll be able to save it to wherever you normally save things to. So I save things to Artful Stampin Creations. If you don't follow me there, please do find me on Pinterest. My my username is Artful Stampin, and you can either follow all my boards or you can just follow the ones that you're interested in. And yeah, I will share, you know, I don't know, yeah, I'll just share this on social media, because I think this is just such a useful tool, and I hope you'll get loads of use out of it. Oh, you're welcome, everybody. So Stephanie's off to make her patterns. Brilliant. Yeah, and if you think of any others, please do let me know, because I'm quite happy to do another video. But I think we've covered all the ones that I've pretty much ever used, apart from perhaps like super skinny ones, you know. But I think really you end up with little skinny strips when you've sort of cut off little pieces. That's kind of, that just sort of happens, and then you can put those in your scrap box. So. Right, lots of love to you all. Have a great evening, day, morning, wherever you are, and please give me a thumbs up and do share this out. And if you want to share this with your customers, if you're a demonstrator and you want to share this with your customers, please do. But please could I ask that you just acknowledge where you saw the idea. Obviously, I'm not claiming it is my idea, but if you have found this video useful, please do share it out. And you know, I'm not going to be customer nabbing. It's just so that my YouTube channel can be seen and enjoyed. So I just really appreciate that, please. And I hope this makes everyone's life so much easier. So lots of love. I could take photos, Heidi. Yeah, I could take photos and put them on Artful Stampin Space if that's helpful. So yeah, I can do that. Probably best actually if I scan them. We have got a scanner on our printer, so if I scan them, it means it will have an actual real one. So right, take care, everybody. Good night. Bye.